Good morning, everybody. Good evening, wherever you are. Greetings, greetings. Sylvia here. Um, so I'm very involved in my healing work. I think I've said this before, with ancestral work currently. And sorry, I always look at the wrong place. I'm aware I'm talking to myself, but actually I could be looking up there. It's probably better for you guys. Still getting used to these YouTube things. And so ancestral work is such a deep and powerful work that is really calling to many at this point. My energetic healing practice, the work has completely evolved into, really most of the time, if a client's on the table and we don't know what's happening, it will be the ancestors that come through to work. So this is not something always that I request, but since Christmas now, this has been happening, which suggests that we are in the cycle of the planet where all karma, of course, must be cleared before we can lift purely into the fifth and sixth dimensions, before the solar flash can come. We are in a current cycle of clearing all karma, and that includes all the shadow associated down our ancestral family line. And for many of you working in the light or as healers or light workers, you will be the one often that has come in specifically with the focus of assisting to clear your ancestral line. And it is very powerful work, very rebalancing work. Personally, I'm currently involved with the family constellation work, which I'm training in, and I of course will be in a couple of months offering sessions, and certainly online sessions, in this very amazing work. But for now I'm just working directly with the ancestors in the healing work. And I just, the group of 100 said that there would be some information about ancestral work that they could offer. So I'm just going to tune in and see what they can share with us today about this current cycle of the ancestors wanting to be so present and received by us at this time to assist our healing process. So thank you. Greetings, dear beloveds. It is we, the group of 100. Today we have Sananda here in his highest aspect, and there are others here around wishing to contribute their words also on this topic of who are the ancestors and the ancestral energy, and the importance of them at this time on planet Earth. Dear ones, we are your ancestors. We come from eons past. We come to bring you the healing that we were unable to achieve within our lifetimes. The history of man has passed through eons of deep, grueling hardship, years of scarcity, of lack of crops, of famine, of destitution, of hardship, of abuse, of violence. This is imprinted in the ancestral line of every person on this planet. It is no shame to carry these darknesses in your ancestral past. It is what the human experience was designed to be. A world of duality, where light and dark play out together. And indeed, for many of you, and we would suggest that this can often fall into what we call the spiritual bypass camp, which this one here would certainly agree that she has had short periods of her life where she just wanted everything to be rosy and filled with faith. And certainly in her youth, in her 20s, she thought that was the goal of spirituality, to only be in goodness, to be in light. And as her healing work began, and as the progression began, she was taken further and further down into the darkness, through the darkness, to the dark night of the soul in her personal life, but also into the true darkness that has existed on planet Earth, and in which many of the ancestors' lives have been embedded. So, for this true balancing of the spiritual self on the planet at this time, it is a full embracing of all darkness within self, all darkness that has been held in the ancestral line, and which is now coming down to you, showing up in your life. It will be showing up as frustrations, as illness, as emotional states which are really reaching ahead at this exact moment. The solstice energies brought again another huge wave of ancestral shadow seeking to be brought into the light. So it is working on every person on the planet now, whether you take it further and you seek out a practitioner and actually hands-on grasp this work and look it in the face, or whether it just comes to you in your dream time and your sleep time. The ancestors are now working through every person on this planet. They are doing this because they too wish to rise into the light. The light that is coming to this planet. They too wish to cleanse the soul line that your family holds. So all soul lines can be cleansed and purified as each person works to purify and cleanse their line. We have communities being cleansed, we have cities being cleansed, we have countries being cleansed, and eventually we have the grid of planet Earth being cleansed. Again, never underestimate the power of one, the power of one journeyer, one seeker, one person who is willing to dive deep and do the work. This is where the work starts, in the calling of one person to dig and dive deep. These ancestors who you will meet in these sessions are indeed real people like yourself. Even if you do not know them, for example, what may happen in a session is an ancestor from 7 generations may turn up to be worked with. It is pretty clear that you are not going to know the intimate details of this ancestor. However, through the facilitation and the work of the facilitator, you can receive whatever information is necessary. Did they receive abuse of any sort? Were they happy in their marriage? What were their gifts? What are the beautiful skills and gifts that indeed they have shared down their line to the client? And indeed, what pain and what blockage did they experience in their life that they were not able to resolve, which has now come down across the centuries and is still held in the DNA of the client. The DNA carries all disharmonious strands, as it carries all harmonious strands. It is not as simple as choosing to travel forward with the harmonious strands, because indeed this Sylvia again, has done this in the past. She has written the lists of what it is in the mother and what it is in the father that she honours and values, and that she wishes to carry forward into her future being. But there were layers of shadow and pain that she simply wasn't aware of. There was a narrative that she had gathered together from family memories about who her parents and her ancestors were. But often these are sentimentalized, often these are romanticized, often, as we say, we remember only the good moments. But all human is human. Every human has the rage, the frustration, the pain. We would not be human if you had not passed through these phases and journeying in your life. So indeed, ancestors are much the same when we meet them. And the conversations that happen within a session are very blessed. The client receives a lot of clarification around why she is feeling this very thing that she has always felt, this blockage that he has always felt in his being but never understood the source of it. It makes no sense that this particular belief about this particular thing has always been in him because his parents don't appear to have it, and it didn't come from his peer group. But no, it will come perhaps from your ancestor 5 or 6 generations back, that they had this wound, they had this belief or this point of conflict in their being, that because they did live those generations ago and life was harder, they were not able to solve and find solutions for. Indeed, humanity is very blessed at this time that the community of healers and people working energetically now, people who can see through time, who can see through the veil. There are a lot of practitioners worldwide with these skills, which they are able to offer to any and each of you seeking to do this work at this time. So we suggest that there are wonders here to be discovered. So to explain to you the ancestor when they come, they are coming with the knowledge that this burden that was in their being, that they passed this on, that they were unable to clear it in their lifetime, and often died with this pain, this strangling, this stranglehold of confusion or darkness. They died with that. So their soul has been seeking cleansing. But most specifically, they seek now to lift the weight of this which was never yours, the client's, to take this back, to lift it off you, to say that difficulty you have in relationships, dear granddaughter, where you do not trust the man, or you cannot progress past a certain point, or dear grandson, the way that you judge the people in your workplace or your brothers or sisters, or these are aspects which I, grandfather, had. They were never yours. And now I own them, I claim them, I take them off you. And at this point, the released one, the client, the present day ancestor, is able to move on with just the life that their soul chose for themselves. We have all made soul contracts before coming here to live a certain sort of a life. And the DNA choices, the choice of which family we chose to travel with, that has all been interwoven with the soul choice. But once these ancestral elements are lifted, are lightened, then the soul is returned to its initial contract, and indeed from that point it can even say, well, I feel I am complete with my initial contract now, and I may choose another contract for this new golden age on planet Earth. So there is much transitioning and possibility that becomes available. through this interfacing with the ancestral truths that we are mostly subconsciously holding in our beings. We hope this is clarifying the role of this so-called ancestral work that is coming through for many healers at this time, and that it may pique your curiosity and interest to perhaps seek out some of this for yourself. We feel we will leave this here today, dear ones. We can talk again, and indeed we may have a question and answer at some point with Anthony moving forward. But for now, we just wish to open this doorway for you to pique your curiosity and to let you know that you can, this one in her practice does offer these sessions, and they can be online, and we will leave a contact point for her in the description for this video today. So, dear ones, we leave you now with much love and much blessing, and we do hope that you are journeying through these volatile times and finding ease and peace for yourself to anchor yourself in your daily lives. Blessed be. So, dear ones, I hope that was of interest to you, and if you are wishing to explore a little of this work, do just get in touch or seek out somebody in your local community. It's a great lightening. I myself have just been through a very core lifting of ancient wounds around my motherhood, around past abuse, and it really is reformatting my whole system from the inside out. So I can certainly recommend it from personal experience also. Much love, and we'll talk again soon.